Hi, I'm Amy Hannon, and nothing thrills me more than people and food. I'm a preacher's wife, a mom of 3, and I own my own specialty kitchen store. I've kept an open door and a well-stocked fridge, which means I have fed a lot of mouths over the years. So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. I'm so happy that you're back with me today in my kitchen. Today we're going to cook pork tacos, which is something that my family really loves. It is so great for a weeknight or after church or something like that when you're kind of in a hurry. We're using the leftover pulled pork that we made previously to make these tacos, and it's really fresh. Lots of cabbage and cilantro and avocado and all the good stuff. I've got some corn sizzling behind me that I'm going to show you how to make in just a few minutes. This is just a really great recipe. I don't know about you, but we eat so much Mexican, probably more Mexican food than any other thing that we eat around here. I bet we easily eat it. I'm going to say 2 nights, but I really mean 3 because 3 kind of embarrasses me a little because we really eat it a lot. We love it. Chips and salsa and these little tacos. You can put just about anything in a tortilla and we will eat it. My kids will certainly eat it. So we're going to do this today. Use a little leftover, use a lot of fresh, and make some pulled pork tacos for you. So we have this pulled pork that we had left over from before, and I'm just going to put this in a little heater that we put on our stove. This is the 3-cup measure from our store in Springdale, Mayonnaise. And I'm just going to put this on the stove for just a few minutes and just start letting that get a little heat. You could also put that into some kind of microwavable dish and stick it in the microwave as well. You might want to put a little liquid on it so that it doesn't dry out. So we've got that going, and we have tortillas in a tortilla warmer, or however is your chosen method, but this one my sister-in-law gave me. Isn't it cute? I love that it was small and white. And so we're going to make a cabbage and cilantro honey lime slaw to go on our pulled pork tacos. And so to get going, we're going to just use a half of a head of this red cabbage. You could use a food processor if you would like. It probably is a little bit easier. But there's just something about me and a knife. I just really love to use my knife. And so I just prefer it. I just prefer to cut it myself. And so we're just going to take a half of this. And I just like to peel off that outside piece because I think it's a little bit tough. And then I'm going to cut off the end. And then there's this little heart in here that I like to trim out. It's just a little tough, and you don't want to eat it. We just want all the good purple. And if you don't like red cabbage and you prefer to use a regular head of cabbage, you certainly can. I just think this is really pretty on the taco, especially with the cilantro. It's a really fun color, and I think it's a little sweeter. So that's why we like to use it. So I'm going to cut this head of cabbage in half, and then I'm just going to take my knife and make some really thin, long pieces. You could also probably do this with a mandolin. I've seen folks use a box grater like you would shred cheese. You could do it on there. You just have to watch your fingers. And we're just going to do about a half of this head of cabbage, and then that's plenty. So I'm going to just scoop this in this little bowl. And then we're going to add a little bit of cilantro to this. I have also, and this is just a rough chop. It doesn't have to look great. It's just a rough chop. Don't lose your fingers. If there's any kind of like stalk or stem in there that you don't want, you can pull that out. Now, I love cilantro. I will always go heavy on cilantro, but my baby boy does not love it. So sometimes I try to sneak it in, but he always sniffs it out. It's not very fun. Okie doke. So this is all there is to this slaw that we're putting in it. If you wanted to put shredded carrots, you could do shredded carrots. If you wanted to add a little fresh cucumber, like in little bitty dice, you certainly could. I've done that as well. That is a delicious option on this. And this slaw we actually put on all kinds of things. On top of our barbecue, we eat it beside things. It's a really good one. Okay, so we've got our slaw. And so we're going to make the sauce that goes on the slaw. And all of this it's kind of classic, which is easy. I'm going to eyeball about 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. And y'all, use real mayonnaise. Real mayonnaise. Okay, that's my tip of the day. You can't substitute for real mayonnaise. It's the good stuff. And then apple cider vinegar. I just prefer it over regular vinegar. It's a little sweeter. And I just really like the way that it tastes in this in particular. Okay, about 1/4 of a cup. A drizzle of honey. This is so good. This is Savannah honey from Mayonnaise. It's delicious. And then a little lime. And then we're just going to add a little salt and pepper to this, a little bite of sugar. And we're going to put it on our slaw and toss it. And when we come back, we're going to put that together. And then we're going to start an avocado crema. That's going to be the topping that's going to go on our pork tacos. So good. We'll see you when you get back. If you're just joining me today, we're making pulled pork tacos with a really good cilantro, red cabbage, honey, lime slaw. And we're just about to make the avocado crema, which is something I just could eat with a spoon. It's delicious. I hope you'll try it. So what we've already done is we have chopped about 1/2 of a head of red cabbage, and then about 1/4 cup of cilantro, 1/2 cup, it's really up to you. And then we've mixed our dressing, and it's a pretty standard slaw dressing, which always has basically mayonnaise, vinegar, and sugar, and then we've thrown in a little honey, little lime. It's delicious. So I'm going to put this into my big bowl, and we're going to toss our slaw real quickly. It smells so good. There are so many flavors in this. It's a little bit sweet. It's really creamy. It's fresh. It's a little crispy. It's got that good flavor from cilantro. I think you'll really love this slaw. We make this beside sandwiches even in the summertime. It is a good one. Okay, so we've tossed our slaw, and we're going to let that sit a few minutes and let that soak in. We want to make it first, so that it has a little time to kind of sit and soak. And fancy chefs say marry. We're going to let these marry for just a few minutes. So there's our slaw. And now we're going to make an avocado crema, which is basically mashed avocado, some sour cream, and some good flavor. And this becomes kind of a little smoothie, chunky, creamy sauce that's going to go on the top. And so I have just gotten one medium ripe avocado, and I'm just going to go right around that pit really carefully and then just twist, and when it's ripe it pops out just like this. And you know, the way to choose an avocado is it needs to be able to give just a little bit when you squeeze it at the grocery store. I got these a couple of days ago, and so knowing I wasn't going to use them for a few days, I got some that were a little firmer at the grocery store because they would continue to ripen and be just right for today. So carefully I take my knife and just twist that out, and it should come without any trouble. And then you can do this however you would like. This is my little way, but you have to be careful with your knife. I actually make little slices inside there. Don't go crazy and don't go all the way through, because you know your fingers are just on the other side of that skin. So I just do a little gentle, run my lines to make some little chop marks. And then I'm going to take just a regular old soup spoon and just scoop it out. Just like this. See all those pieces? So if you were making guacamole or something where you wanted to keep those little chunks, then that's just right. You could just mash them about halfway So then you'll have a little creamy bite and a little chunky bite, kind of whatever floats your boat on your guacamole. So for this case, I'm actually going to take a fork and I'm going to mash them pretty well, more than I normally would do for my guac. And because this is really ripe, that's going to go really easily. So I'm just going to mash. My sweet daughter loves avocados so much, and she has an allergy to it, and it just breaks her heart. So it's a little bit mean when I make this with her here. God bless her. Wouldn't you hate to be allergic to avocados? I'm so sorry to those of you who are. All right. So I've just mashed that about halfway. And then we're going to just stir in. I'm going to use the same spoon. I'm going to stir in about a half a cup of, I like to use whole sour cream mixed in with my mashed guac, and we're going to add the juice of a lime. You know, you roll your lime with all you've got on the counter so that it breaks those little pockets and it makes it really, really easy to get the juice out. And then, since there aren't seeds, I don't have to use anything fancy like a gadget. I can just squeeze it just like that. And then squeeze that side. And then all I'm going to do to this is add a little bit of salt and garlic, and that's it. Isn't that easy? Here's my salt. A little bit of salt. Just a little bit of garlic powder. You can do this to taste. If you want it less salty, then you don't have to use as much. And if you want a little more garlic in there, you can use a little more garlic. And if you love using fresh garlic, use fresh. It is so good chopped up in there. So I'm just going to stir this together with a fork until it's the consistency that I like. A little bit chunky, but mostly smooth. It's the prettiest color too. I really love it. And if you want to throw in a little pinch of this chopped cilantro that we've got kind of going as a little flavor through all of our things, you certainly can. I just think this is so pretty, just like this. Okay, so we have an avocado crema. I feel like I need to taste it just to be sure that everything is just right, that we have all the right flavors. The lime in there is easily my favorite. It is so good. Oh, it's tart. You're gonna love this. Creamy, such a great little topping. You could almost eat that with tortilla chips now that I think about it. Like, I would love a chip in this. It would be so good. Okay, so we've got almost everything ready. We have our slaw, our avocado crema, our cilantro chopped, and we're ready to go. When we come back, we're gonna put together our pork tacos. See you in a minute. Hi, I'm Amy Hannon. Watch Monday to Friday, and I'll share stories, cooking tips, and recipes that'll feed everyone from your family to a big old crowd. Cooking Today, weekdays, right here on KNWA. Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. We're making pulled pork tacos, and we're getting really, really close to putting them together. We have our yummy slaw, an avocado crema that we're gonna dollop on the top, some fresh chopped cilantro right here, and we have a really great side item that is really, really, really easy for you to make. We're gonna stick it on the skillet and let it heat a little bit and then spoon it on the side of our pork tacos. And all we have going here is a 12-ounce bag of frozen whole kernel corn. You can use canned if you would like. I like the firmness and the texture of corn that comes frozen a little bit more than the can. And if you have fresh corn, use fresh corn always if you have the option. But for today, we're using frozen. And so I have just put this in a cast iron skillet with about a half a stick of butter. I really thought I was gonna get out of one episode without using butter, but I just couldn't, and I apologize for that. But Mama loves butter. We love it around here. The flavor it gives is so good. So if you're worried about it, go run the circle around your neighborhood real quick. Get your steps in, because we're putting butter in our corn. So we have this sauteing in a little skillet until it's gotten a little bit tender. And then all we're gonna add into this is a can of Rotel. You can do about a half a can if you feel like this is too much. You can eyeball it. that's about halfway drained. We don't want all of the liquid, but there's a lot of flavor in the liquid, and so let's do about half of it off, and then we'll pour this in. And I think I'm going to do about 3/4 of a can. Yeah, I think that's plenty. And it gives it that good, pretty Mexican food color, which I love, that yellow and that red, and it already smells good. So we have a half a can of Rotel. And then I buy these because I don't personally love to handle fresh jalapenos because they scare me and they burn my skin. And I'm always scared I'm going to itch my nose when I've got all that on there. So I just buy these jarred jalapenos that are like, I don't know if you can see them, they're already diced and cut up for me. There's a little juice in there, and so I'm just going to take a few of these and stir these in. This is going to be a hot dish with the Rotel already in it, so just, you know, enter cautiously when you're putting the jalapenos in the corn. I'm just going to do a few, little bit of juice, and stir this around and just let this simmer. Oh, the color. I just love the color. I love cooking with color. It's pretty. Okay, and then to make this an official creamed corn, Mexican cream corn, I'm just going to add about 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream into our corn. Oh, that's so good. And the cream will actually help kind of dial down the flavor of these hot, hot spices and chilies and peppers that we've put in. And we're going to let this simmer. I'm going to put a little pinch of salt and a little bit of garlic powder for flavor. And we're just going to let that cook for just a little bit. Just simmer away until the cream reduces by just a little bit, and then we'll be all set. And when we come back, we're going to fix our plates. This is cooking today. Hi, I'm Amy Hannon, and nothing thrills me more than people and food. Join me in the kitchen for cooking today. Watch Monday to Friday, and I'll share stories, cooking tips, and recipes that'll feed everyone from your family to a big old crowd. Cooking Today, weekdays, right here on KNWA. Okay, we're back, and we are about to plate our pulled pork tacos that we've made with our leftover pork that we pulled and shredded and ate on an open-faced sandwich. That recipe can be found on the Cooking Today page. And so what we're gonna do is load up our tacos with this red cabbage slaw and an avocado crema, and spoon a little of this creamy, spicy creamed corn, Mexican creamed corn on the side. So we're just gonna get a couple of these tortillas that we've warmed for just a few minutes so that they are pliable. And we've got, oh, I like these little bitty guys because I think they're more fun to kind of eat, not get too big. I'm gonna load up the middle of this taco with our pulled pork. And I just think you should pile it on. Do you remember how good this pulled pork is? We just ate it like crazy. Okay, right down the middle. And then I'm gonna add a really good amount of this red cabbage slaw. You wanna barely be able to get this thing closed because it's so loaded down with the good stuff. And then we're gonna dollop on the very top this avocado crema that we made that has a little bit of lime and sour cream and mashed avocado. Look how pretty. Look at that green with that red. I sure love that. And then we're just gonna put a little pretty garnish right on top of our chopped cilantro. Oh my goodness, just take a minute. Isn't that pretty? And I'm serving that on a plate that I got in Mexico, which I really think a pretty plate that really goes with your dish makes everything taste a whole lot better. And so we're gonna fold this up, scoot it over just a little bit, and spoon just a little bit of this creamed corn right on the side. You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, that would even be kind of good on it. Do you think that would be good on it? I think so. And how about another little sprinkle of our green cilantro right on top? Is that a beautiful plate or what? I'm gonna eat this right now. I hope you'll try this at home and make it for your family. I think you'll love every bite. This is Cooking Today.
Groceries provided by Harps, hometown fresh. Iced tea brought to you by Lipton. Kitchenware is provided by Mayonnaise.
Hi, I'm Amy Hannon, and nothing thrills me more than people and food. Join me in the kitchen for Cooking Today. Watch Monday to Friday, and I'll share stories, cooking tips, and recipes that'll feed everyone from your family to a big old crowd. Cooking Today, weekdays, right here on KNWA.